guys, and welcome back to another video with me, Priyanka the Minecraft Girl. And today I'm going to be reading chapter 5 of the book Minecraft The Crash by Tracey Baptiste. I have read the first 4 chapters for you as well, so you can go check out my videos before you skip right on to chapter 5. It's going to be interesting, so let's start. Be careful where you stab that shovel. We're probably getting close, I shouted to Lonnie. I stood, overlooking the ridge of a very large hole we dug beside the new pond, waiting to unleash the water. It was Lonnie's job to hit the first level of lava and hightail it out of there using the stone steps we had built leading out of the massive ditch. I had instructed Lonnie to start digging down, which he did. However, he didn't really seem to understand my directions, digging straight down rather than creating more of a downward slope to use an escape if necessary. Avatar or not, the last thing I want to deal with was a roasted Lonnie. Slow down, I yelled again. There was a sudden hiss and pop, and red, hot lava started bubbling up from the hole Lonnie had made in the ground. Lonnie just stood there, blank-eyed, as flames licked at his clothes. What are you doing, you dummy? Get out! He jumped as if my command, and not the heat, had alerted him to the imminent danger. He began to run up the stone steps with the lava flow right on his heels. I shook my head. Something was off about Lonnie's avatar. He didn't act like Lonnie I knew. Maybe it was the lag time, or maybe something was wrong with his goggles. Have you tried logging out and rebooting your goggles? I asked. No response. Lonnie just sat on the edge of the hole, staring across the gulf. Striking my axe on the remaining dirt blocks, I watched the water pour into a giant fall, straight into the pool of lava. Peering below, I could see some of the lava blocks turning inky black. Soon, we would have more than enough obsidian to create 20 nether portals if we wanted. And Lonnie was right. It did look pretty awesome. Okay, I had to admit following the plan worked out great. These traps are so annoying to build, I complained, tapping away at the keyboard and squinting down at Lonnie's graph paper schematics. Why can't we go and hunt down the Enderman like everyone else does? These are more efficient, Lonnie said. What about the fish? I asked. Efficient? Lonnie retorted. It means more bang for our buck. Not every Enderman drops a pearl. We could be running around for hours, or we could build these traps and get started on phase 3. I mean, he was kind of right? I mean, I think I agreed to that. I roll my eyes. Okay, excuse me, Mr. Vocabulary. I happen to like running around and hitting things. I thought that was the point of playing survival mode. Only if you want to play like a 2-day noob in the overworld forever. I, on the other hand, have bigger ambitions. Lonnie passed over another stack of graph paper, one that he'd been doodling on for hours. I took it and read aloud his chicken scratch handwriting on the top page. How to get to the end in 5 steps. The end? I asked. Why would we want to get to the end of Minecraft? Because that's where the real bosses are, Lonnie said, his voice cracking a little from excitement. Check this out. He opened up a Minecraft guidebook he'd borrowed from the library. There was the bookmark page with an illustration of a black dragon with purple eyes and grey lizard-like wings. My jaw dropped open as I read about the Ender Dragon. I definitely wanted to see this boss in person. I want to tame one, I whispered. You don't tame the Ender Dragon, you defeat it! Lonnie snapped the book shut under my nose. And the only way we can do that is if we prepare our supplies, plan out our actions, and power through. Think you can manage that? Prepare, plan, and power through, I repeated, waving my hands dismissively. I was distracted by a cow that had wandered onto the scene. I needed some leather. Yeah, okay, I'll try. I walked back to my home base. I needed time to regroup my thoughts. Villager Lonnie trailed behind me like a shadow, his expression like a mall mannequin's, like blank. Any sign of life I'd seen or thought I saw was clearly a trick of my mind, another illusion, as it were. I decided to take a break and work on my shelter instead. Bare walls, dirt floor, and glassless windows is not exactly the homiest look. I added a bed and a pretty basic chest. It was just in time too, because the light was beginning to dim, and I could use a second to think. I had an entire world at my disposal. I had only gotten one of my torches lit when the sound of a zombie moaning rose up outside the house. Grrr. Now, when you're playing the game on screen, you've got to go out and look around to figure out exactly where the zombie is coming from. But in the VR world, I knew exactly where it was, just outside the window that faced south. One zombie I could ignore, but moments later there was the sound of another, and then another, and then another. They all seemed to have zeroed in on the house, and they seemed to be targeting me, and not Lonnie. At this point, he was standing stock still in the middle of the room. He wasn't moving or speaking, just facing a wall. He must have taken off his goggles while he's still logged in. A lot of help he is when I need him, I thought sarcastically. And since I hadn't built more than the one room, and I hadn't gotten around to putting glass in the windows, I figured it was zombie smashing time. I grabbed the sword and burst through the door, ready to go. I didn't expect there to be so many of them. Up close and personal, these VR zombies were more frightening than usual. I would have just ignored them normally. I tend to find zombie mobs more annoying than threatening, but I was suddenly excited for a challenge, and I had a hillside full of zombies just asking for a fight. I grinned as I started plowing through the green guys with the sword like an Amazon warrior. In my head, I'm pretty sure I looked awful, and if anybody was looking at me play, they might have died from laughter, but I was screaming and chopping and generally having a great time until one of them hit me, and the energy bar at the top of my vision went down half a heart. I was mad, but I also laughed. I lifted the sword again, determined to battle my way through. In all the screaming and chopping, I'd only managed to kill 3 of the mob that was coming my way, but it was 3 less I had to think about. I rushed forward into one near the open front door, and green slime burst in pixelated arcs that fell on the ground and disappeared in seconds. I turned and targeted another that was coming up behind me. The same ooze spilled, so I turned to a third, but I was too slow. This one caught me by the arm, and I watched again as I lost health points. The next time I tried to swing the sword, I could have sworn it felt heavier and was hard to hold. That was an extra level of game detail I did not expect. But I did hold it up and began swinging it as hard as I could. And then down the middle of the same zombie that had touched me moments before, it died. But I saw more and more of them coming up the hill. Maybe it was time to retreat. I slipped past the splatter of my last zombie victim and moved into the trees on the hill, thinking it would make up for good cover. No such luck, because coming down toward me were a couple of skeletons. I dispatched the first one with a diagonal strike across the torso, but the other one managed to hit me with an arrow, knocking me back and ensuring that a second strike was impossible. This time, I didn't need to see the bar to know I lost another heart, maybe 2. There was a total slowdown of my movements. It was like I was being rebooted on the slowest connection ever conceived. Basically dial-up, but on an old-timey rotatory phone. I was being taken down by one skeleton, and the rest of the zombie horde had figured out where I was, so I ran around the mob and somehow managed to make my way to the top of the hill. My energy level had a chance to revive somewhat, enough for me to sprint like a frightened kitten down into the next valley. I switched out my weapon for the pork I traded for earlier, and ate it to help my slowly depleting food bar. I found myself panting, despite knowing that I hadn't actually run anywhere at all. That it was all just me moving through the animation of the game. Maybe it was the zombie horde, or the quick thinking, or the feeling of being attacked and having to defend myself, but I could feel the even pulse of my heartbeat in my ears out in the real world. It made a strange echoing sound here in the game. It was scary. More zombies and the skeletons were on the move, right in my direction. I didn't know what to do and panicked when I realized Lonnie was still in the hut and I had to figure out how to get back to him. But then he showed up at my side. He must have logged back in the game. Phew, thank God. I grabbed Lonnie by the arm and shouted, "Time to go!" We ran until the terrain changed from lush green to an expanse of dull brown with a few patchy scrub clouds. Desert. There was no cover here, and my energy was steadily going down since I had no food left. And I'd been under constant attack the last few minutes. The sky was starting to brighten, which was good news, but it wasn't happening very fast. Past another dune, I spotted what looked like a villager all in brown, dealing with its own throng of zombies. With my own problems in my back, I tried to go around, but they were moving too. And in moments we intercepted each other. The what I thought was a villager turned to me and yelled, "Stay and fight! I'll help you!" Besides the muttering of the villagers in the zombie modes, I hadn't heard anyone speak in the game. I stopped. "Don't just stand there and get your weapon out," the player said again. "Are you real?" I said dumbly. We don't have time for this. The player came closer. This was when I realized they were wearing leather armor. They offered a trade, a wooden sword for nothing in return. Best trade I'd ever actually been offered. It wasn't really a trade though. I grabbed the sword, stood beside the other player, and started slashing as hard and fast as I could. My leather-clad friend thought was better, cutting through twice my number in the same amount of time. Between our work and the daylight dawning, we defeated our foes and found ourselves alone in the middle of a desert. I didn't know there was anyone else inside the game. The player put away the sword and said, "I'm Esme." "Bianca," I said. I thought I was alone in here too, but then I found Lonnie. "Who?" "My friend Lonnie." I turned and gestured behind me. But to my shock, Lonnie was nowhere to be found. Sometime, since we'd run into the desert, he'd just disappeared. I mean, that's surprising. He disappeared? Okay, I'm confused. "Oh, come on. How are you going to log out on me like that again, Lonnie?" I yelled into the air, like he could hear me from the game or something. "Are you okay?" Esme asked. "No, I'm not," I grunted, then calmed down a bit. "I mean, yes, I'm fine. My friend was just here, though. I swear. There are a few of us around. He might show up again." She shrugged. "Everyone comes and goes as their treatment schedules allow. Gotta leave time for the doctors and the nursing staff to poke and prod you, right?" "You're a patient in the hospital too?" I asked. "Yeah, aren't you?" "Yes, I was in a car accident." I paused and then asked, "Have you seen a kid named Elon Lawrence?" "He would have come in the same time I did, about 15 years old, dark skin, grey eyes." "I don't think so," Esme said. "How long ago?" I realized I'd been unconscious too many times to give an exact answer. "I'm not sure. Maybe a few days, maybe 2 weeks. We were both in the same car accident." I quickly told Esme what had happened. How a car had come out of nowhere to hit us straight on. How there was nothing we could have done about it. I felt helpless. "Ouch," Esme said. "Did the driver run a red light?" My stomach twisted and I felt a little sick. I didn't mention the part about the cell phone. I didn't want to think about how it was and who ran that red light. "Anyway, just let me know if you see him," I said. "Will do. One more thing. If you've only been here 2 weeks at most, how did you get the glasses so soon?" Esme asked. "They usually don't hand them out until you've been here at least a month." "Some kid who came wandering into my room," I explained. "He brought me my own pair." "It was probably AJ, right?" "Yup, AJ." She nodded. "He's our biggest recruiter, always trying to get new people into the game so he can show off." She shrugged again. "He's a pretty sweet kid though." "So, how many people play inside the game?" I asked. "Right now?" "It's just the 3 of us," she said. "I think. You, me, and Anton." "Who's that?" "You'll meet him soon enough." She began to walk away toward the other end of the desert biome. I followed. "So what are you in for?" I asked. "Chemo," Esme said, as if she were replying to my question with her favorite color. "We're hoping this round will be the one to kick the cancer out and once and for all." "Wow, I hope it works too," I mumbled. I felt like my words were totally lame and unhelpful, but I just didn't know what to say to someone with that kind of news. "It's kind of my ultimate boss," Esme said, shrugging. She frowned for a moment. Her stare drifted as if she was thinking about someone else or something else. Then she refocused on me. "How long have you been in the game?" She seemed concerned. "Not long," I said. "It was night when AJ came over to give me the goggles." "Did you come out? Was it still night when you came out?" "I haven't gone out yet," I said. "I'm sure someone will take the goggles off me eventually." "So you haven't made an exit portal yet?" AJ was serious about the exit portal method. She just stared at me, so I continued. "I'll make it when I make it. I don't see the rush." She stared me down and shook her head. "This version of Minecraft is so special," Esme said. "The goggles are reading our brain synapses. You know what that is, don't you? It's not just about clicking some keys on a keyboard." "Yeah, I know what that is," I lied. "So when beginners come in who don't know how to play the game, their thoughts can mess with the settings." "I'm not a noob," I said sharply. AJ already told me that stuff, yeah. Yeah, well, clearly he didn't tell you everything. You're not much for thinking things through, are you? Word of advice, you're not ready. Log out, wait a few more weeks, and then the nice doctor will give you a pair of goggles and an instruction manual. Go back to your nice comfy hospital bed with the cartoon characters on the wall." "My room doesn't look like that," I said. "My room's beige." Esme paused for a moment. "How bad is it that they didn't even bother to put you into one of the rooms with the cartoon clowns?" "Most of my body's in a cast. I got wrecked big time," I replied. "That's why I'm here. In the real world, I can't move at all, and I can't figure out what happened to my best friend." I felt an unexpected sob rising in my throat. I suddenly wanted to curl into a ball and cry about everything that happened. I just didn't want to do it in front of a stranger in Minecraft. Luckily, it didn't seem like the avatars were that good at showing emotion. I quickly collected myself. So please, can you just show me around? I'm a fast learner, I promise. Esme was silent, her avatar standing still as she thought about it. Okay, fine. Follow me and do as I do. We're going to talk to Anton. That was chapter 5 of the book Minecraft the Crash. My next video will be coming out pretty soon. Tracey, Baptiste, you're an amazing writer. I love your book. If you haven't seen my other chapters, I guess you should do that. Otherwise, this chapter might be a bit confusing for you. But I hope you guys enjoyed my reading. So, I'll catch you guys later, I guess. Don't forget to like this video, share this video with your friends so they can get a free book reading on YouTube. Wouldn't that be awesome? Yeah, I guess it would. So share it, like it, and comment on the video on what was your favorite part and what didn't understand. Because I was quite a bit confused in the middle too. It was an interesting and deep story, but we still got to continue because it's a big book. So I'll catch you guys in the other video. Till then, bye-bye.